Hey, what's up everybody? So I want to do a little clip here. This is about a 10-minute long video of me describing to you how to be a little bit more successful when you play first-person shooter. I'm going to play Destiny in this particular clip. Obviously this is not a live gameplay commentary, but there's some habits and things that people have when they play video games like this. There's some things that I've thought about, and I've just observed. I've spent a lot of time playing by myself, and I play with a lot of random matchmaking, a lot of random people, and I feel like your average person is typically pretty terrible. So my goal here for this video is to kind of share just what I think makes a lot of sense that people do, and some stuff that people do that doesn't make any sense, and just talk to you a little bit about how to be better, how to be less of a baddie. Let's make us all better together, and then I think everybody has a better time. So what you got going on right here is a little control gameplay. This is on Rusted Lands, and what I'm doing right now is I took the Charlie Point and I went over to Bravo because I know that Bravo is always contested. Now, it's always a good idea when you start out a control match for at least one or two people to go to the hotly contested point, that's Bravo in this case, and take that first. It's going to put you off to an early lead. Now, I play a lot more conservatively than a lot of people do. I think kill to death ratios are important, and I think if you're dying all over the place, you're not really helping your team. So I took C first and got me some free points, and then I moved over to B. And right now, B is getting a little bit hot. I'm playing to the right. I'm using some environment to kind of put some space and some obstructions between me and my enemies instead of just running out there or running up there and trying to take them all on. I don't know what's beyond these visual obstructions here. I can't see anything about what's going on back there, but I am in control in my little space here. Now, once we clear everything out, it's totally okay for me to go back towards C, which they're actually taking right now. I don't want them to take C. And some of my other teammates have figured this out as well, but obviously there's no voice chat, so there's really no talking about this with my teammates. I'm just coming over here. I'm going to start putting a couple of rounds downrange and start throwing some grenades up here at the top of the point as well. Right, giving that guy a little love with the shoulder charge and just taking care of this guy because he got a jump on me and I was low. Now, typically you don't want to use your specials in a 1v1 scenario, but I wasn't really sure what was going to happen, and I wanted to make sure that I stayed alive and try to protect that point. What you saw right there was me totally freaking whiffing on a guy because apparently I don't know the range of my shoulder charge, and he took me down. It's okay, no big deal. I spawned in, I went straight to A, got some free points. All right, and now I immediately want to get off this point and start watching some longer lanes. Right, I know they were at C, so they're going to be coming from C to A. All right, I can get some overwatch here, and I get freaking pumped to the grenade. I'm standing. All right, we're going to pop back in again, and I believe this time I'm going to move my way towards B because they took B again. Right? Obviously in control you need to have at least 2 points at all times, and the more kills you get when you have these points, the more points you get per kill, faster your team score goes up, and the more likely you are to win. Never give up in control. Like, if your team is down by 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 points, you can still pull it back out and win. And what you see me doing here is also never giving up on a particular engagement, right? Never give up on an engagement because sometimes people panic, they freak out, right? As long as you train your reticle on their face and just hold the trigger down, you're probably going to win, right? Headshots have multipliers, right? The longer you just hold it down and commit, the more likely you are to win. I found that because of the shiesty netcode and everything, it's really not likely that you're going to be able to retreat in a one-on-one heads-up gunfight and actually live. They'll probably end up killing you behind a wall. That guy was just floating around like a fairy, and he got sat down. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and sit on Bravo. You should crouch when you're sitting on points because it hides you from the radar. Periodically, you kind of strobe on the radar a little bit. I didn't do that here because I have my entire team in front of me, and it really doesn't matter. So now we're going to go ahead and move out to Charlie. Everybody's rolling pretty good as a team right now. Everybody's kind of moving as a pack. I like when people stick together because putting rounds at enemies makes it easier for you to kill, right? Even if you're just getting assists and stuff, that's all boosting your team score and you're going to win. So what's going on right here is I'm going to special these idiots hanging out on that flag. Outstanding. Perfect. That's a good use of a special right there. I like to use the skill that leaves that little lightning ball in its wake just in case anybody decides they want to come hang out and party after I pop it. They're going to at least get a little bit of damage put on first. Just kind of bouncing back and forth between hotspots. Looks like C is pretty clear, so B's getting taken. You're always kind of watching back and forth where you just came from. Maps aren't that big, so chances of somebody coming back and trying to take over one of your old points is pretty high. All right, so I make my way back to B, and it looks more or less pretty clear right now. You got people bopping around. That guy shotgun me in my grill. All right, you definitely got to be careful with people coming up over the top where there's short lines of sight when they have shotguns. That was just poor positioning on my part. Positioning is extremely important, if not the most. This is hilarious. I love that. It's one of the most important things in any first-person shooter game is positioning, right? Map knowledge and positioning. Obviously, your shot, right? The ability for you to have twitch reflexes and be faster than other people is going to win you gunfights. But what wins more gunfights than anything else is where you put yourself on the map, right? It's extremely important. So what happened there again, right? I was put in a spot where I don't have a short range weapon that's instant like a shotgun. I like to use the fusion rifles, and I put myself in a place where the guy could close the distance with me faster than I could react to it, and he killed me. Right? What I like to do here is peek up and down on these stairs. People like to walk in here and they just look straight ahead. Right? I know that there's some of my teammates kind of on the right over here, and I'm just kind of letting them do their thing right now. All right? They can just kind of hang out over there, and I'm going to sit down here with some Overwatch, some long lines of sight, like I said, right? And just kind of poke in and out of this little hiding place and just take people out as they come. And once this clears off, I immediately get off that point. I'm not going to hang out there and wait for more people to come through. I immediately make my way over to Bravo again. I am going to crouch this time, right, because there's nobody in front of me. I don't know who's out there, and I assume the bad guys are going to be coming. Right? There's a bad guy. Right? I actually took out 2 of them right there with a pretty well-placed special, because I know they're coming in, and it wasn't exactly a 1v1. Right? This guy decided to get cheeky and pop his Radiance. I don't really know why I switched to my fusion rifle there. I guess it would have been fine if I had done that and he had actually hit somebody with his little solar palm smack, got some shields back. It would have still killed him, which is great. But I probably could have just reloaded and hit him with my primary again anyway. All right, again, these people are tunnel visioning as they come in. Right? When you're playing these lanes, you want to check corners. You can't just run straight in at a flag. I love that spot here on the right because people tend to not pay attention to it at all. This is some bad melee whiffing on my part here because I kind of lost track of where the guys were. I still managed to come out on top. I ended up getting like grenaded or something in the back later. And it took way too long to clear those guys out. You definitely want to try to move a little bit faster. You want to try to keep your enemies kind of in the center of your screen. If people start linking around and stuff, it can get disorienting, but you just got to do better. Right, so moving back towards Bravo because they're still hanging out there. That's me fading kind of beyond cover a little bit. And that's a good idea to do, right? So you can shoot while moving in this game. It doesn't really upset your accuracy like it does in games like Battlefield or Counter-Strike, right, where you kind of have to pop and stop. And I find myself back in this spot again, not a good spot, and I decided to move this time, which is probably a good play. Right, but you can move and shoot. It doesn't really affect your accuracy at all. Somebody's going to get shoulder charge now. Love it. It doesn't really affect your accuracy, so do move. Right. If you're a moving target, you're harder to hit. Right, and if you're a moving target, oh, this guy's going to get me with the shotgun. Right, if you're a moving target, you're harder to hit. If you're strafing behind cover as you're shooting, chances are your rounds are still impacting that guy, and he may actually end up sending a few into the wall. Right, so your chances of beating that guy out in a fight are higher. And again, it's not really like retreating out of a gunfight. You definitely don't want to retreat out of a gunfight because chances are you're just going to lose. So you keep firing, keep it on their face, get some victory points, and call it a day. Alright, well that's probably about all I got for you for this video. I'm going to try to come back at some other point and give you some more helpful tips and hints. But thanks a lot. Hit a like button.